wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day.
Welcome back to Lone Star Live. We've got a jam-packed show today. Got Logan with me. How you doing, Logan?
Yes, sir, man. I'm just living, man. Trying to see what's going to go on with this Kansas Arkansas game with this crazy finish they got going on over here.
Yeah, there's just a unsuccessful 2-point conversion called back with a targeting, so they'll get to run that
Oh, they're
back.
on
We'll
the
see how that
one.
goes. Yeah, it should be half the distance to the goal and put them at the 1. With that being said, won't talk too much about that. We've got a all Big 12 conference draft that we're gonna do. And I'm trying to, we've talked about it all day. I have like a draft board. Logan's got his draft board, and we're gonna see. We can't draft the same people. We're gonna do it in like a fantasy type. Now we may redo this before the beginning of the season, depending on like transfers if people leave or not. But with that being said, ask. Well, no, we've already decided that I get the first
Yep.
pick of this draft. So, there's so many like where could I go? Right, I could go quarterback, but I feel good about
That's what I was stressing
quarterbacks.
for. That's why I was like, I'm gonna let you have it, and then I'll just bounce off of that. I guess.
Right. And
So
let's
it's
preface this. So this is a 2-year draft, right? So we've set ourselves limitations. We have no seniors and no current juniors. So it's only current sophomores and under for who we are allowed to draft. That way, it's kind of like who can build the best. Maybe not next year, but the next year, whose team would be the best. And we want to actually keep up with the fantasy points as the season progresses. So, with that being said, with the first pick of the draft,
they got it.
I believe they got it. Nice.
Yep.
I believe I'm going to. I'm gonna go all gas, no brakes. I'm taking Quinn. He's
Really?
gonna have enough. He's got enough development. The development is gonna be there. I fully believe that he will develop into a really good systematic quarterback next year. Another year in Sark's program. He took a year off. Last year of high school was not. He didn't play. He went to Ohio State and didn't get to see the field. First year at Texas, he had some jitters. He had some ups and downs. I believe we're going to see more ups than downs next season.
Wow. Wow. Man, see, I had him on my list, but ultimately I ended up taking him off because we ended up changing some of the rules. Dang.
Yeah, so he's a sophomore, and I'll read his stats while Logan's thinking. He had 249 completions, 1,808 yards, 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 9 sacks. He was not the absolute most productive quarterback in the Big 12 by anywhere near, really. But once again, I believe in his production or his development. I mean, so Logan, second pick in the draft. Where are you taking us?
So, all right, I think I got it. I think I got it. So with the second overall pick in the Lone Star Live, all Big 12, whatever we want to call this, I'm gonna take Chandler Morris, which this is one that we talked about,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think that a guy that had starting over a Heisman finalist will still get a shot next year. And with TCU, the transfers that they're bringing in, they've had some big names come in from all
Yep.
across the nation. And they have a bunch of young recruits that are going to be coming in here in the next couple of years. I think Chandler Morris is going to be able to come in and put those pieces together and possibly, maybe not next year, but the year after, make another run for the Big 12 championship and possibly even the playoffs. Because at that point, it's going to be the 12-team playoff.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. I think Chandler Morris would be a great pick in this kind of a draft like setting. He was the starter, and Max Duggan's been balling out. So if he was the starter, how good could he be? Man, I don't know if I want to go running back or receiver
Dude,
here.
I'm just like, I don't know
It's
what I
it's kind
want
of
to do
like
here.
with running back. I have 3 options. Okay,
Mhm.
two of them are proven. One of them is not necessarily proven, but probably a solid pick. And I didn't look. I need to actually look at this real quick.
See, I've got 4 very, very solid options here.
4 solid, really?
Yes, 4 very solid options. And there's actually one that I'm thinking is probably the better pick than the other 3.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I don't know as if this is going to be RB1 for like who actually start, like who's the number 1 guy, but I think it's who I'm going to draft first. Just because he's proven. I'm gonna take Richard Reese from Baylor.
I hate you.
He is proven
I
on a
hate you
6
so
and
much.
16,
I hate you
198
so
carries,
much.
917 yards, 14 touchdowns, 13 receptions for 89 yards. Jason, what is up, dude? We are doing a all Big 12 conference draft.
I hate you.
You're not going to like my first pick. I picked Quinn Ewers for my quarterback because I think he's going to get developed. And Richard Reese is going to be my running back. Logan picked Chandler Morris from TCU to be his QB1 next year. And just so you know, we do have stipulations where they can't be current juniors. They have to be current sophomores or younger as far as who we can draft. So, Logan, who's going to be your second pick, man?
I knew I should have picked him. Dang. Oh, see, this is where. Oh man, I kind of want to pull up stats at the moment, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. I know who your next running back is gonna be, and I'm not gonna
Do
steal that
you?
from you. Here, I'm
Do
gonna
you?
go Devin. I'm gonna go Devin Neal.
Okay. See, that was actually probably my other running back. I was probably going to take him over
Really?
Jonathan Brooks. Yeah. Just because
Mm,
he's more proven. Like, he's
exactly.
proven. Jonathan Brooks isn't proven. I think he will be good, but he's not. So lead us. Why? Why Devin Neal?
So Devin Neal is one of those guys that he is atop of the Big 12 as a sophomore. Not 1,000. I think that he might have redshirted. But he's another one of those guys that's going to end up getting you over 1,000 yards, just like he did this year. He ended the year with, I believe it was a 6.2 yards per carry. It's either 6.2 or 6.4. You guys are both wrong. Okay. You can't say that
Who should
Eric
we?
Gray is going to be is going to the NFL after this year. It's okay. But
Who do you take it? I don't know.
so
Go ahead. Keep going.
he finished up with 10 plus touchdowns. I don't know the exact number. I want to say it's like 15. I think that he is a very, very athletic and strong running back. Dang, Arkansas ended up winning. That's okay. I still covered.
Dang.
Who in the world is that, Jason?
Yeah, I'm trying to find them right now.
But
Is that? I'm guessing that's going to be Oklahoma guy.
with all that being said, I think that Jalen Daniels, if he's the starting quarterback next season, and Devin Neal is going to be a very solid option offense under Lance Leipold.
Yeah, actually, I'm really glad I got the first pick because now I just get to go. I get to move on to receiver. Take one at receiver. Also,
I think I know this one.
I don't know if you do know this one. Freshman running back and Javante Barnes, both freshmen. I looked up Gavin Sawchuk. He has got like 3 carries for 5 yards last year. So
Never heard of her.
I think I'm happier with Richard Reese. Yeah, receiver number 1 for Team Harrington next year. Logan is 100%. He seems confident that I'm going to take Xavier Worthy, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Jalen Noel from Iowa State. He had a really productive season, 60 receptions, 572 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And that's while being on the same. That's first of all, it's while being on Iowa State, absolute garbage, and having Xavier Hutchinson with 107 carries, almost 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. So him stepping up next year to be probably their number one guy, I think Noel will be a super productive receiver next football season.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Mm-mm. So I already know who I'm going to pick. I'm just trying to find some of his stats. He was a late bloomer, closer to the end of the season. Not a whole lot of people might know his name, but if you watched some games for our Baylor Bears, you will know this name. And that is what was true freshman Josh Cameron. This is one of those guys that if we needed a first down, that's where Blake Shapen was going towards the end of the season. He finished the season 28 catches, 386 yards, no touchdowns. But once he gets into the system more, I can't find exactly how many games he ended up playing in. So he didn't have any breakout games. The best game he had was 6 receptions, 83 yards, with a long of 25. Next year, I think with him being with Blake, or if Blake is the quarterback, which we might get into later, if Blake is the quarterback, that connection we've seen is strong. If we need a first down, he's the guy, right? And if he doesn't get past the first down marker on the route, he's getting past it regardless. I think that next year he will be probably receiver. I think he'll probably be receiver 2 with a very strong case of being at receiver 1, especially with how Monterey Baldwin ended up kind of falling off closer to the end of the season.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick for sure. I like Cameron. To see the guy that burnt Texas deep on that play?
No, that was
They were
Jalen Ellis. That was 84, Jalen Ellis. He's a junior.
Screw that guy.
Junior. He could have had it 3 more times. You're good.
Man, I'm going to move right. I mean, you left Xavier Worthy there, so I'm taking Xavier Worthy.
I figured you would.
I didn't. There was no thought in my mind that he would still be on. I have a couple of receiver options that I like, but yeah, if we get 3 receivers, Xavier's still there, taking them. Jason, we can get into Air Force, but we're trying to stay on topic here.
I don't think you want to talk until you lose to Florida State tomorrow, Jason. It's okay. But continue.
That's my pick. Xavier Worthy, 2 receptions, 676 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
Okay, I'm gonna make this easy for myself. Jonte Cook, freshman out of DeSoto. Jason should know because his boy Peyton Bowen got beat by him. So, there went my phone. Cool. I don't know his.
Yeah, man. You think Jonte Cook's going to come in and make immediate impact? I think so.
If they use him correctly, yes, 1,000%, yes. If they
we didn't really let Brennan Thompson and Savion Red come in and make immediate impact, but I think that's because Casey Kane was practicing so well. He was just terrible on the field, and I think our coaching staff wanted. Well, no, they saw it, I'm sure. I think they just were like, man, he's so good in practice. I mean, it seemed like every week there was like another Casey Kane catch in practice, just never translated to the field. So with him being out, I'm assuming he's out. I haven't seen anything yet. Then I would say Jonte Cook has a solid chance.
Yeah, for sure. What you got, bud?
So that leads me. So that was my 4th pick. Do I want to move into tight end? Do I want to go ahead and take another? So I think I'm going to match Snell, man. So we're gonna do an Alamo Bowl preview here in just a little bit. We're trying to pull off this Big 12 conference draft, and then we're gonna get right into that. I think I'm gonna pull another shocker.
Another shocker?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take CJ Donaldson as a tight end out of West Virginia. He had 80.
That's
Hear me out. As
that's
far
a
as a
running
tight
back.
end, he's listed as a tight end,
I know, but he is a running back.
but
That's
he's
what he
listed as a
played.
tight end.
But he played running back, and you know that
It
because
doesn't
I called
matter.
him CJ Anderson over and over again.
Yeah, and on my roster, he's going to be a tight end with 87 rushing attempts for 526 yards and 8 touchdowns, only 9 receptions for 27 yards. So he's listed as a tight end, and I don't care what you say. So give me C.J. Donaldson out of West Virginia. Hopefully, they
Give
get a
me
better quarterback.
give me Jatavion Sanders. I'm not.
I figured you'd take that, and I won JT. Don't get me wrong, but
Why?
here's what I like it. I like it, dude.
I do too as far as points, but it doesn't make sense as far as what we're doing.
Makes sense. He's gonna be able to get me stats. I'm gonna be able to put him at tight end and get running back stats. This is genius. Especially, go ahead. Go ahead and talk about Jatavian. Go ahead.
That just threw me off completely, dude. Jatavion
You
Sanders.
know good. Is CJ Johnson on your board, Logan?
Yes,
Okay then. Okay then.
as
I
a
knew he
running
would be.
back. As a running back. Because he is
He's
a
not
running back.
listed as a running back. Dang,
That's a
match.
great
Tell him.
point, Matt.
Hang on, we throwing that up. Tell him, match. Tell him.
Now, FSU is like number 13, I believe.
FSU is pretty good. I would say that, but
They're not the number one
Air
defense
Force
in the nation.
Air Force is pretty good.
But
I mean, anyways,
Jatavion Sanders is just that guy. I don't have
he
his stats
is.
pulled up. I'm sure you know his stats by heart because that dude is a
No.
baller. He is a
49
baller.
receptions, 577 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He did. He balled out for sure.
But you just threw me off completely whenever you did that. But it's okay.
Matt Snell coming in again, coming in
Like
clutch.
this guy.
I'm telling you, there's nobody on our channel that is more interactive with us than Mr. Snell. So I appreciate you, man. Really do.
Jason.
And
We
Jason. That's true.
appreciate you too,
Both
Jason.
of them. So my next pick, I'm gonna have to. I got kind of my tight end pick was I picked him because of the way I'm gonna set it up by taking Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State
That's a good one.
as my other tight end. So he's got 28 receptions for 399 yards and 4 touchdowns.
It's Ben Shanot, by the way.
Oh, there's a silent H in there, huh?
Yeah, it's Shanot.
Okay, Shanot. And since I don't get another tight end, I will tell you Baylor tight end Kelsey Johnson did make it onto my board.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I'm gonna go ahead and snag this one off of here before you get the chance to take it from me, and that would be Mr. Jonathan Brooks.
It's not bad.
That we saw how he did against Oklahoma. We saw how he did whenever he got in. I mean, dude is only sitting literally because he was behind Bijan and Roshan. But whenever he finally got into the game in that 49-0 blowout of the Oklahoma Sooners, or that's who we think showed up. It might have been their JV. Who knows? But anyways, I'm going Jonathan Brooks. He's going to be hopefully the starter. But if he's not, Cedric C4 Baxter is going to be a great RB1 if it's not Jonathan Brooks. So go ahead and tell us you're taking C4 Baxter.
I'm not taking Baxter. Mainly because I think that the other running back that's going to play the most other than Brooks is going to be Keelan Robinson. So I'm kind of stuck between Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State and Javante Barnes from the crappy Sooners. And I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any. Is there anybody else that maybe I'm missing?
Stop.
That I should.
We can't pick anybody from Oklahoma. It's going to make Jason happy.
It's true. That is like a favorite of mine. DJ Giddens from Kansas State. He's a freshman. 80 attempts, 451 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Like, that's solid.
From Iowa State?
Deuce
Is that what you said?
from Kansas State. So here's the thing. This is
Oh,
where I'm at,
yes.
right? Javante Barnes from Oklahoma. Eric Gray's leaving. He'll be the starter. Giddens, Deuce Vaughn's leaving. He'll be the starter. Oklahoma State, the running back's going to Baylor. So that guy, Ollie Gordon, will be the starter. So I
Yep.
don't know that. Man, that's tough because I don't know. I would say out of the three, stats wise, I don't really recognize none of their names. 89 for 411. I'm going to go with running back DJ Giddens from Kansas State. True, he's a freshman, 6'1", 212 pounds. He had 80 attempts, 451 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
It's a pretty good pickup. Sounds like
And,
a pretty solid pickup. So,
yeah.
So
So
Oregon is
that
currently
puts-
losing.
Good. So that puts. I just read off the teams right now. I'll read off my team, then Logan can read his recap. Yep. I have Quinn Ewers, I have Richard Reese and DJ Giddens. I've got Xavier Worthy and Jalen Noel and Ben Shanat and CJ Donaldson. Matt Snell, please don't be too mad at me for letting Jonathan Brooks slide to Logan and Jatavian Sanders slide to Logan. He gave me Xavier Worthy gift wrapped, so
yeah, I did.
Gift wrapped. His Baylor Bear glasses got in the way, and he drafted Josh Cameron over Xavier Worthy. So I don't. All right, Logan, what you got for us?
That's a great question because
I know my next pick. I know
mine.
Unless you take
one right now.
Okay.
So I would take Kelsey Johnson, right, as my second tight end. But you got to remember that we have a tight end coming back. You remember that the tight end that was hurdling people?
Dabney?
Mm-hmm. He's going to be coming back.
He's going to be a junior next year?
Yeah.
He's a junior?
He's a junior this year. So he's going to be a senior next year. Yep. But he's going to be back. So,
so you're
Kelsey
saying
Johnson isn't going to get all of the stats, which is what I just remembered whenever I looked at our roster. So that's going to lead me to
take him because I almost did.
Yeah, that would have been bad. So I'm going to take 6'9", 260-pound sophomore from Texas Tech, Mason Tharp.
6'9".
6'9", 260 pounds from Killeen, Texas. Finished the season. He only had 12 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay. But knowing Jeff Grimes, or no, Joey McGuire, not Jeff Grimes, that's our offensive coordinator now. Joey McGuire, he's going to find a way to work this dude into the starters. Who would not want to have a tight end that's 6'9", 260 pounds? That is probably very good at basketball, so probably stupid athletic.
I would love that.
Exactly. Jatavion Sanders is another big tight end. I like really big tight ends. Now, is this guy as athletic as Jatavion Sanders? Probably not. But I think, all in all, it could be a very good player for Baron Morton, which is a freshman this year at Texas Tech for the quarterback position. If he's the one that plays.
Man, that is interesting. So, my next pick, and you're gonna have to explain yourself just a little bit because maybe I'm just confused.
It kind of sucks. I didn't take Kelsey Johnson.
Just getting right into it is. I'm sorry, Jason. I have to.
No,
just getting into it. The guy I'm gonna take, he had 33 receptions, 536 yards, 4 touchdowns. I'm honestly completely shocked that Logan has not taken him, especially since you took Josh Cameron. Monterey Baldwin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's fast.
He is
I
very
mean,
fast.
I think he had some inconsistencies with dropping passes, but I mean, another year in the system, like Shapen, maybe gets more on the money.
Don't
I don't
get me
know,
wrong.
man.
I want that to happen 1000%. But I think with the steadily decline and injuries that he ended up having during the season, it just kind of got to where Josh Cameron started going up everybody's ranks as somebody probably that came out of spring ball that didn't
Okay.
get the looks because he was still trying to grow, learn the system, everything. And once he got it down, he was able to start getting those reps in game and apparently at practice for him to have the trust to be in game. And he just
Yeah.
kept showing and kept showing and kept showing that he is a really good target for if we need short to medium, sometimes even long first downs, which Blake Shapen taking all the sacks that he does is probably a really good thing that we have this guy that has very reliable hands. And that's why I took Josh Cameron instead of Monterey Baldwin. But see, this one's tough right here for me because I am going to go with another receiver, but it's
Okay.
very hard for me to know how this offense is going to play it. How many receivers do you have? Do you have all three?
I have all three. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you both of my options right here.
Okay.
A guy that we talked about today, Armani Winfield,
Okay.
right?
Solid.
But
Yep.
but there's gonna be a new guy in town, which is a 6'2" transfer from Arkansas in Keytron Jackson Jr., who was supposed to be Arkansas's number one receiver next year, which is 6'2" is the height that we were missing as an outside receiver because we had Monterey Baldwin on the outside, and then Josh Cameron closer to the end of the year, and then Jalen Ellis against Texas, which was his first snaps all year. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know why we haven't been using him. Baylor men's basketball with the dub, nice. So I'm kind of torn right here. How are we going to play this? As far as Jackson's looking like he could very well come in and be receiver one. But Armani is one of those guys that came out of high school where I don't know why we redshirted him. We flipped him from y'all. Like, dude has talent, obviously. So I'm gonna go based off of what I think Baylor is gonna try to do. And I believe that they picked up this guy in the transfer portal for a reason. And I am going with Mr. Keytron Jackson Jr. I'm probably saying his first name wrong, but I haven't had a lot of time to learn it completely.
Okay, so hear me out. I'm gonna go with a quarterback. I'm gonna get my second quarterback, and I'm torn between kind of four guys.
Oh, oof.
Okay, and this will be my last quarterback, so I can tell you all of them. Although I probably
Yep.
shouldn't because they're probably not people you're looking at. And
Well, I have
anyways,
three, but I really only have two because one of them's not going to play next year.
who are the two you have?
I'm not telling you that. No,
Well,
I
I'm about
have
to tell
Baron
you
Morton
mine.
and Hunter Deckers.
Okay, so those are two of mine, and then there's also Garrett Green from West Virginia because whenever he came in and Jalen and JT Daniels was playing bad, he
Oh,
actually
he's
played well.
transferring. He's transferring.
Daniels
Oh
is
no,
transferring, so Garrett Green will start. Now he didn't play great. Garrett Green didn't play great, but
it wasn't bad.
it wasn't. It wasn't good. But I'll have another year, and then I've got Arch Manning. Okay, and here's Arch Manning. My thought process
Hey,
is
that's my
this is
third
all
one.
for this is a 2-season
That's my
thing,
third one.
right? Quinn will play next year. Arch will play the next year, and so I'm like, man,
I love that we have three of the same
the
people
same ones.
left on our board.
And so really my top two are the same as your Baron Morton and Hunter Deckers. Baron Morton has less to look at as far as stats. He didn't play as much. Tech really had 3 quarterbacks last year. But I also think Tech will be so much better. Like I think Hunter
Yes.
Deckers stats wise is the obvious answer. But I
See,
think Tech will be better next year.
that is my exact reason of why I don't know who I'm gonna pick because
Well, I'm probably about to make it
year
easy on you. I'm
year
probably going to take
two
one and you take the other.
year 2 of this, Xavier Hutchinson's going to be gone. Jalen Noel's going to be there for his senior year if he doesn't already go to the draft.
His junior year.
Oh, he's a freshman?
No, he's a sophomore. He'll be a junior next year.
I'm talking about the year after, whenever Xavier Hutchinson is gone.
Xavier Hutchinson's not coming back for another year.
You don't think he's coming back next year? Oh,
Why would
he's
he?
not. No, he's not. I'm stupid. I'm brain fart.
Mm-hmm.
But you shut up. Jalen Noel has the potential and the athletic ability to leave after his junior year next year. Tech has put together a pretty decent recruiting class. Decent that's all I'm giving them is decent. But
I think, and here's the only reason. So Donovan Smith is transferring out of Tech.
Yep.
So that leaves Baron Morton and Tyler Show.
Yep.
I think for that reason, I have to go Hunter Deckers, because if I draft Baron Morton and Show starts, I just have a backup quarterback on my team. So I feel like I kind of have to go Hunter Deckers as QB2, and just please let Quinn Ewers ball out so Hunter Deckers never has to see the field.
Dang. So I wanted Deckers. That was going to be my pick over that.
That was going to be it?
Yes. Now, I want to go ahead and put out there, I was not trying to sway your pick. I was really just trying to tell myself, like, you got to look at this stuff as well. So I'm going to take Baron Morton. If Tyler Shirk plays like he did last year, he's going to start. Unless they bring in a crazy transfer. But I don't see that happening. So I'm going to go ahead and...
Yeah, Hudson.
Yeah.
There's no reason. He had 100 receptions, 1,000 yards. There's,
highly overrated.
Logan's an idiot. We know. We know.
No, you.
No, you. No, Jason.
How do you spell this guy's name? This is such a strange name.
Baron's like Berehn or Bear.
No, it's Behren.
Those are all of our picks. So I'll give a recap of mine, and then Logan.
Baron Morton. Wait. Baron Morton was Mr. Irrelevant here. You got to think about what Brock Purdy's doing right now.
That's true. So we get 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, and 2 tight ends. So my team is going to be Quinn Ewers and Hunter Deckers at the quarterback position. At the running back position, I have Richard Reese and DJ Giddens out of K-State. I feel really good about this Richard Reese pick. I would have loved to have gotten Jonathan Brooks. Maybe we can make a trade in the offseason. We'll see.
I'll take Bill.
Receiver 1 was Jalen Noel out of Iowa State. Receiver 2, Xavier Worthy from Texas. And receiver 3 is Monterey Baldwin from Baylor. Tight end 1. Technically, tight end 1's actually going to be Ben Chenault. And tight end 2 is CJ Donaldson, who in all reality is a running back, but he's listed as a tight end, so I drafted him because I'm going to boost those fantasy points. All right, Logan.
That's a very smart pick as far as points. I'll give that to you. But, whenever we came up with this idea today, I did not expect my team to look anything like this.
Yeah, I didn't think. I was having a tough time just not Texas.
Dude, I'm sick to my stomach because I did not get Richard Reese.
I was going to give you – I was kind of hoping you would take him with your first pick. I was going to take Quinn and Chandler Morris if you took Richard Reese.
That's why I took Chandler Morris.
I was going to, yeah.
I don't think Hunter Deckers would have been a bad pick, though. But I wanted one of the top quarterbacks that are going to be left, in my opinion. So I did end up getting Chandler Morris from TCU, Baron Morton from Texas Tech, and then at running back, I don't know why I'm not excited about this pick, but Devin Neal out of Kansas. That's why.
He had a great year.
Dude is crazy, and I think it's literally just because it's Kansas, and I'm not used to them being good.
Logan, they had the same season as you.
You shut your mouth. We
What are you
beat
talking
them.
about,
That's all
dude?
that matters. That's why
That's true.
Jason can't say nothing to me. He can't say nothing to you because he is 0-2 against both of us. Anyways, Jonathan Brooks from the University of Texas, hook 'em. He's going to be a stud. So receivers is not the order I thought it was going to be, nor the people I thought. But Josh Cameron out of Baylor, John Tay Cook, incoming freshman out of DeSoto to Hookham, Texas.
Yeah.
And then we have the new guy on the block coming out of the SEC in Katron Jackson Jr. I need to learn how to say his first name. And then tight ends, Jatavion Sanders, and then the 6'9", 260-pound tight end from Texas Tech, Mason Tharp.
All right. Well, that is our preseason all Big 12 conference draft for next year. We're gonna try to keep up with it and actually we'll come up with a point system and do the
We'll figure out
yeah,
something.
we'll
Tight end rushing
so
yards don't count.
yes they do. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on into our Alamo Bowl preview. Throw this up. So now if you're in the chat, match, we'll go ahead and pull up yours.
Let's go ahead and go over a couple of these
No,
questions
wait,
and
that's not it.
statements that we had
Oh yeah.
in the
So
comments.
before we do the Alamo Bowl preview, I guess we'll do Jason asked Logan about Air Force.
Triple option is stupid hard to stop, especially if you haven't seen it all year.
Especially when your best D lineman, run stuffer in Siaka Ika is not playing.
Yep.
That helps.
That is crazy. So Air Force, their offensive line has like their own little fraternity, and if you weren't watching the game, you didn't catch this, and I doubt you know it, but it is Diesel. They have hats and everything, and if you're not one of the offensive linemen, you're not getting a hat. You're not stepping foot in the fraternity. It's crazy. I think it's kind of cool though, but Air Force has the number one rated defense in the nation, ahead of Georgia, ahead of whoever you want to talk about. But whenever Air Force coach
Dang,
was asked
I didn't know
about
that.
it, yeah, number one defense. Air Force coach got asked about it, and right before the second half started, he said, "No, no, 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 no. We're not the best defense in the nation. Look at Georgia. Look at whoever. But stats wise, that is the number one defense in the nation. Their pass rush is disgusting. Their run, dude, their run defense, even crazier. You got to think these guys are the guys that are playing against Navy, Army, everybody that runs the ball nonstop.
Yeah, so he follows it up with saying that losing to Florida State is a question. So he's saying, so losing to Florida State is the same as winning the conference and Sugar Bowl and then losing to a service academy the next season. First things first, Jason, the way, goodness, Logan,
Excuse me.
the way Texas was able to, actually, I think the way most teams were able to run on Oklahoma, I'd feel pretty confident in saying that y'all would probably lose to Air Force as well. I'd have to pull up y'all's rushing yards allowed per game, but a running offense is hard to stop. It doesn't matter who you are, unless you're a team like Michigan who gives up 85 rushing yards a game. It's hard to stop, and they run the ball well. They run the ball downhill, and they run the ball every stinking play. So, yeah, Texas had 296 rushing yards against Oklahoma, so I feel confident in saying that Air Force would run the ball down y'all's throat. Not obviously Logan's not happy with losing to Air Force,
Oh no,
but
not at
it's
all.
not the worst. I would say for Matt Schnell, I personally would rather lose to Florida State than Air Force. But I think out of all of our three teams, I think Texas has the toughest. So and Matt brings that up, and we'll let this go ahead and throw us into our Alamo Bowl preview. He says he thinks if Texas can run successfully, U of H becomes U of H. That's Houston. UW, University of Washington, becomes one-dimensional, also burns the clock and keeps Washington off the field. You're right. You're not wrong. Okay. The problem is making them one dimensional. They're one dimension. Aren't they kind of already one dimensional? And their one
Nothing but
dimension is
pass,
slinging that
pass,
ball.
pass.
They sling it over and over. They have the number one passing offense in the country. Like, you're not. Let me see about their running back. Yeah, dude, their best running back only has 126 carries, 779 yards, which is actually like crazy good considering he's got 6.2 yards per carry. And that's Tau Papa.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the problem is running the ball is going to be more efficient for us, not because it makes them one dimensional, but actually just because us running the ball will, like you said, use the clock and it gives our defense time to rest. That's what's going to be important. We have this. Washington's offense is too fast paced. They can sling the ball. They can score fast. If our offense cannot sustain a drive, I will go on record saying in the first quarter, if we have back-to-back punts, then by halftime, I'm willing to say we're down by 21. If we punt back to back, I don't see us getting stops. And so it's going to be maybe not 21. I'll say 17. That gives us, kick a field goal or something. But yeah, we'll be down by a lot. We are not going to be able to punt back to back in this game because I don't see our defense being able to. I mean, to be fair, Washington, everybody says, well, Washington has like the 100 or 92nd pass defense in the country. You want to know what team is one spot ahead of them in pass defense? It's Texas. Our pass defense is terrible. And so it gives like Quinn ought to ball out. Quinn, if Quinn sucks in this game, then I don't even know what to say anymore because you're playing a team whose pass defense is terrible. And now you've had a month to prepare. Or 3 weeks to prepare. You've had 3 weeks to throw the ball to Worthy. You got to get that in sync. You've got to be able to hit the deep ball. You got to set your feet. Your footwork's not very good. And that's all stuff that in the season you don't really get to work on because you only get a 1 week to game prep for the team you're playing. But if Quinn Ewers does not step it up in this game and Malik Murphy has to come in, that's a whole nother video. We're going to talk about that later. We're gonna mark it and we're going to talk about later the quarterback situation. This is an Alamo Bowl preview match. I'm sure you watched our video. We actually have a video on it. I did not pick Texas to win this game. The spread is currently Texas -3. I have no doubt that Jonathan Brooks is going to run the ball successfully. I don't doubt that. Keelan Robinson, Jonathan Brooks. In fact, Coach Sark said we're going to see all three. We're going to see Brooks, Robinson, and Jaden Blue. So I have no doubt. Yeah, a 5-star, 5th-string running back. He's going to play. I have no doubt that we run the ball well. Our offensive line has blocked well. Our running backs have found the hole. We have aggressive running backs who can put their head down and run full steam downhill.
Those guys are hungry.
They are. And Jonathan Brooks has been waiting his turn, and he's getting it. And we saw against Kansas, he got his turn. He showed up.
Yep.
I don't know if those 3 weeks is enough for Quinn. I think a whole offseason. He needs 9 months of work. And I think next year we can see him. But, man, there's a huge conversation to be had about how the implications that this game can have. Michael Penix Jr., 330 completions for 4,354 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's ridiculous. Man. And the over-under, 67.5. I don't even know. I don't even know what I would set that at. Logan, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
I think from what we've heard from Xavier Worthy and what the reports are saying, I'm thinking that hopefully, Quinn has been able to go back to the basics and learn how to throw the deep ball to probably one of the fastest guys on that roster. Hopefully they can find that connection. There's a whole spiel. Me and you've talked about it. There were rumors of Xavier Worthy leaving. He changed his number. Why would you change your number if you're leaving or even thinking about leaving? But my question is though, is even if they do like even change his number, doesn't say anything about leaving. If they don't find this connection, what are the odds that he does end up leaving? If any. I don't want him to. And I kind of hate for you that that jersey you're wearing serves no purpose now.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy is
Go ahead and
no
put
longer
white
number
duct
8.
tape right in the
So,
middle. But
yeah. Mm.
I think this game more relies on y'all's defense and hopefully having these younger guys be able to go out and cover somebody. Penix Jr. is a nasty quarterback. He's got a little bit of movement to him too. He's got a little bit of dual threat in him. So you want to be able to keep those rushing lanes straight and upfield. You don't want him bouncing outside and everything else because that's what happened to Baylor all season. Anytime we played anybody that can move, and it sucked. But I think that y'all will be able to step up, and I think y'all can win this game probably very easily if y'all come out and play how y'all should play. And if
I don't know
Quinn
about
comes back
very
and plays like
easily.
he did about Alabama, if Quinn plays like he started to against Alabama, it should be a cakewalk. Should y'all have
Should
some of
be.
the best offensive linemen in the Big 12?
Yeah, I mean, in our offensive line, they do. They play well, but man,
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
y'all's offensive line was able to stop Alabama. Alabama has some of the best defensive linemen in the nation. Been able to stop TCU's pass rush. Been able to stop
Yeah,
Kansas State's pass rush. Quinn Ewers is how many times has Quinn Ewers been sacked? 9?
9.
9. How many
Yeah,
times was it against Baylor? Whenever you're starting
5.
right guard got hurt. How many were on the
5
same
times.
drive? 3.
Goodness, like back to
Right,
back to back almost.
right there before halftime because your right guard got hurt. But whenever your whole offensive line is healthy, y'all have the best offensive line in the Big 12, in my opinion. So I'm not worried about their defense getting the pressure on Quinn. I'm worried about Quinn trying to rush the throw as if he is getting pressured and throwing it right to the coverage. Excuse me. But if the
Yeah,
pass game is not working, y'all have crazy stacked running backs. Throw Jatavion in the backfield. Let him be a fullback. Go.
I don't know. I just have trouble feeling confident in this game. I
Y'all got it. You just keep picking Washington. I'll pick Texas. We'll do good. All right? I got
Hey,
you.
that works for me.
That's
That works. That
yeah,
works
that's
for
the
me.
opposite of what happened when you picked Air Force.
I just want to.
Or when you picked Baylor, not Air Force.
Yeah, I picked Baylor. Uh, just because this is a Texas video, so Texas fans watching, you'll enjoy this. Uh, First of all, if y'all have been here the whole time, y'all have seen Hall of Fame media, Hall of Fame college football podcast. His name is Jason Watkins. He's got a really good podcast. Y'all should check him out. He's got a video about Dylan Gabriel, whether or not he's gonna stay for another season. And I replied in this comment and said, I'm okay with him staying. I want to beat him in the Red River to make up for him missing the game this season,
He
which is a
he
shot
throws
because
the
I'm
ball to
tired.
Baylor a lot.
Yeah, I'm tired of all these excuses. We didn't have our quarterback. Yeah, well, he doesn't play defense. Okay. And then Jason says, yeah, good luck with that. You boys aren't winning 2 in a row. You know better. And then how's an Oklahoma fan going to say, I second that. Texas is not as good as you think. OU will be much better next year, no doubt. Okay. Texas is not as good as you think. That's a fair comment because I'm a Texas fan. So obviously I've got my burnt orange glasses. I got my burnt orange Kool-Aid. And so that's fine. You want to say that. That's cool. OU will be much better next year, no doubt.
I
I
don't know about
vividly
much.
remember last year when they lost like 3 games. I think I vividly remember
One of
hearing
them
the
was to
same,
Baylor,
right, and Oklahoma State, I think, and
and
I
Oklahoma State
vividly
to put Baylor
remember,
in the Big 12 championship. I appreciate that.
yeah,
G.
yeah. So, man, what a great little section. That's it for our Alamo Bowl preview. I mean, we have a whole video, and we'll link that
Yeah,
at the end of this video, like somewhere in the bottom over there.
it'll be
Uh,
this one.
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to our third and final. Are we doing recruiting for Baylor and transfer
You want
portal
to
in one
you want to
video?
go ahead and talk about the whole quarterback situation real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do the quarterback situation. So I'm gonna chop this up at 51. All right. Arch Manning has a shadow. Okay. And if you think about the quarterback room for the Texas Longhorns, it's been Sam Ellinger's here. Sam Ellinger is the guy. He's a starter. We play Colorado in a bowl game. Boom. Casey Thompson steps on scene, plays really well. Okay. Going into the next offseason, it's Casey Thompson, and then Hudson Card is named the starter. And immediately, Casey Thompson's shadow starts overcasting Hudson Card. Okay, Hudson Card, it plays well in week 1. He struggles in week 2. Casey Thompson he's hovering, and then boom, he's the starter. Right. Well, as soon as he got the starting job, he played mediocre in some games, well in some games. He got hurt. Him and Hudson Card had to bounce it out back and forth. End of the season, Casey Thompson leaves. Hudson Card's our only quarterback, really. And then immediately, Quinn Ewers steps on. Okay, so if you've got first, Sam Ellinger's a guy, Casey Thompson is the back guy. And then the shadow of Casey Thompson over Card, and then Card over Thompson, and then you've got Thompson leaving, so now you've got Card again, and then Quinn Ewers comes in and casts his shadow over Card, and then Card's gone now, and now you've got Quinn starting, and then boom, Arch Manning comes in with probably the biggest shadow of all of them because he's a Manning. And so it's like, man, first of all, what a great thing to be a Texas and have this many solid quarterbacks on your roster. But it's kind of frustrating when you can't just have a young guy come in and just get developed. There's always this who's behind me, who's coming for my job. And sometimes I like that for competition. But sometimes it's tough on them. So Arch Manning's coming in. Quinn is our guy right now. Malik's behind him. I really want to see Malik play. I want nothing more than Texas to be winning by 40 at halftime so we can see Malik play. I don't think that's going to happen. Arch is going to come in. He's going to practice, I'm sure. And I'm kind of wondering now, thinking about like how much of these reps are going to be split, because usually if you see usually you've got your one, right? Or Quinn Ewers runs with the ones every game, every practice. He's running with the ones. Mm-hmm. And then you've got your two. Runs with the two, maybe takes 5% of the snaps with the ones just to get him some practice in case he has to come into the game. And then you've got your three that never touches the field with the ones and probably has like a 70-30 split with the number 2 quarterback for the running with the twos. I don't think that's the case. I think Arch Manning and Malik Murphy are probably both running with the twos a lot. And if that's the case, how much of that shows Malik that he's not really the number 2 guy? I don't know.
I personally think that Malik comes into this game at some point, and not just because y'all are blowing them out, because Hudson is giving them the ball. Yeah, Quinn, not Hudson. I was hoping he was transferring to Baylor there for a split second, and then I realized he's old. But if Quinn's just giving Washington the game, there's no shame. I don't want Steve to be scared to throw in Malik. There's no shame in just getting him some snaps. But at the same time, if Quinn's just obviously, especially over the spring, this is going to be a big spring and summer for Quinn. Because if he's not sitting there doing what he's supposed to be doing, getting good, you know what I mean? Being that 1.05 star that he needs to be, there's going to be a very, very serious quarterback battle in the spring. Now, will it be between Arch and Quinn, or does Malik somehow find his way into that? I want to see Malik play, right? Just because of how gifted he is. But realistically, is he going to be in that battle with Arch and Quinn? I'm sure everybody will tell us that, but realistically, probably not, sadly. So there's a really, not a big chance, but there's a slim chance that Arch Manning will be the starter next year for Texas. Maybe not the whole season, but maybe midway through the season if Quinn's not progressing like everybody thinks that he should. And I think that's
Yeah,
a
I don't.
very realistic thing. But at the same time, from what we're hearing in the media about the Alamo Bowl and their practices, Quinn's making the steps. But is it really going to happen whenever the lights come on?
I don't know. I don't think Arch really has much of it. I think if it's next year and another quarterback's really coming in, I feel like it's gonna be Malik just
You
because of the
think so?
experience. I don't.
They
I
could
don't feel like you. I
redshirt
don't
Arch at
think
the same time.
right, but I mean, even with the red shirt now, you can play in 4 games in the
Yep.
season and the bowl game and still redshirt. I just don't think you're gonna shake his confidence as a true freshman
Mm-hmm.
throwing him in a game. You let Malik go out there and see what he can do. And I think Malik is a heck of an athlete.
Oh, for sure.
And he
Malik
might
is stupid.
I sometimes worry about like, man, if I say worry, I don't care who's the quarterback. I just want to win. I just want to win. If I don't, I just want to win. But I wonder if Quinn got hurt in week 2 like he did last year, and where Hudson Card comes in, it's Malik this year. I feel like Malik is athletic enough to be like actually play so well that you wonder, do we put Quinn back in when he gets healthy? Kind of like Stetson Bennett, how he took JT Daniels' job at
Yeah.
Georgia. It's like if Quinn got hurt and Malik came in, I think Malik is athletic enough to take the job from him. Like maybe
Yep.
he's not good enough in practice to win it that way, where Quinn would just have to be atrocious and Malik comes in and is amazing. But in a game setting, like if Quinn's hurt for 5 weeks and Malik comes in, goes 5-0, do you pull that guy? I don't think you would. So the
No.
quarterback battle going
Personally,
into
no.
the right. The quarterback battle going into the 2022, 2023 offseason is going to be an interesting one for sure. I think year 1, I thought I wanted Hudson Card to get it. I thought Casey Thompson would, but I wanted Card and I was right. Year 2, nobody had any doubts that it was going to be Quinn. Year
Mhm.
3, I would say I feel a good 90% sure it'll be Quinn going into next year. So yeah, with that being said, this is a good opportunity that we got 2 people watching. If y'all got any questions, throw them in the comment section and we'll answer those real quick. For the 2 people watching, appreciate y'all. We're currently at 285 subscribers. We do have a goal of 300 by the New Year's. So if y'all don't mind considering subscribing to the channel, we're going to do a giveaway at 500 and at 1,000. We can go ahead and say it on here. We do want to do a giveaway at 1,000 where we try to get me and Logan to both go to the Texas Baylor game and have 1, maybe 2 of y'all join us. That would be the goal. So they, yeah.
I think it's pretty well thought of goal. Personally,
Yeah.
I think it happens
And
easily.
it doesn't cost you any money to subscribe and just be entered to win. So there you go.
1,000 IQ plays.
With that being said, right at 60 minutes, we're going to go ahead and jump into our final topic of the day, which will be Baylor recruiting and transfer portal. And you know what? For this, we're going to go ahead and throw that background behind it. Here you go. All right, Logan, lead us into y'all's. Tell us about Keithron Jackson. Tell us about these 2 offensive linemen from where they come from, BYU.
BYU, yes sir.
Yeah,
So starting with Keitron Jackson, dude, what is going on with my computer right now? Acting all kinds of wild. That was weird. The stream was messing up. Anyways, so the first guy I actually have pulled up, starting right now, the guys that we have already from the transfer portal, committed to Baylor, everything else, is Dominic Richardson from Oklahoma State. Thank you to
Sure.
the Cowboys for letting this guy go for some crazy reason. Dude, 6 foot, 210, junior. Um, this past year, he had 149 attempts, 543 yards, 8 touchdowns. Stats don't look great as far as average, only averaged 3.6. But the 149 attempts is kind of low for a Big 12 school that tends to run the ball a decent amount. They're kind of
Yeah.
like a 50-50 offense, right? But Spencer Sanders, he is the second leading rusher on this team. Not Dominic, but Spencer. And he's right behind Dominic Richardson. Um, it's I think that's probably why he transferred is because he's tired of all the snap or the run plays being quarterback design runs. Um, I don't know why Baylor went after him. Honestly, we have Richard Reese, we have Squirrel, we have Quaylen, we have Kyan Roberts Day, which is one of those who's going to be listed as a tight end, which he is on
Right.
ESPN right now. He redshirted this year. To bring in an older guy like that confuses me. If he was a freshman, I could understand, kinda, sorta, to put back there with Richard Reese, but I'm not 1000% sure why they went after this guy. I don't think it's a bad pickup at all. Don't get me wrong. It's just why.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's it, like when the news broke, I'm just like, why do we need another running back right now?
I mean,
Because Kyan Roberts
because I
Day is that
expect
dude.
I expect Richard Reese to be number one. I expect Squirrel Williams to leave. And I think y'all are just going to have Richard and Quaylen. And at that point, you do probably want a number three, like People's Day. Is that what you said his name is?
Kyan Roberts Day. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not really proven,
Well,
and
yeah.
this other guy is more proven. And so if you have an opportunity to increase your depth, then you do that. And so I
So
think that's why.
that would make sense if they're assuming that somebody's going to be leaving via the transfer portal, which isn't far fetched. Squirrel's been getting hurt. He's not getting the snaps like he did last year. For some reason, whenever he came back, he was still getting starts over Richard Reese, which didn't make sense to me or you. We talked about that a lot this year.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, it could be one of those things like you want to preserve the freshman, which makes sense. But whenever the dude's toting the rock and winning you games on his back, like he did for 5 of the 6 games that we won, it's like, come on, what are we doing here?
yeah,
Personally, from a fan perspective.
yeah. Richard Reese is I mean, I drafted him. So,
Sad.
what about these offensive linemen, dude? Like, did y'all need O line? Y'all's line not playing very well this year?
Yes, very much so. We needed those guys. Um, I'll have to look and see what their classification is. It's hard to find stats on linemen, believe it or
Okay.
not.
Yeah. They don't really.
They don't
More
like
like
to
a
tell us
PFF thing, not a
all of that.
ESPN thing.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, let's talk about a specific player that has a little bit of. You might have already mentioned his name when you were talking about the receiver from Arkansas, but there's
I
a
did
quarterback
not.
from Arkansas, right?
I did
That's kind of
not.
getting a little bit of smoke blown. That might be coming to Waco, and I think if he comes to Waco, then we might be making a quarterback battle for Baylor video soon.
1000%.
So lead us into him. Who is it? Who is it, Logan? Break the
This
news.
would be a guy that has a little bit of past with our freshman, or not our freshman, our transfer portal, yeah, in
Mm-hmm.
Keytron Jackson Jr. Coming
Okay.
from Arkansas. This guy is from Missouri City, Texas, so he has like those Texas ties. Um, he was actually set to commit to Baylor before he ended up switching before Matt Rule went to the NFL. So there's another thing. We're in this recruiting battle, transfer portal battle with Nebraska. That came out of nowhere, confused me. But anyways, Nebraska is in the running for him, right? Because he was
Right.
going to commit to Matt Rule, but he's also still looking at Baylor. And if I'm Baylor, I am pushing as hard as I can for this guy. So he hasn't played a whole lot of snaps because he's behind Jefferson over
KJ
in
Jefferson.
Arkansas. Exactly,
Yeah.
dude is crazy athletic. This guy is a dual threat, like 20 times better than Gary Bohannon. So his junior and senior year, dude threw for 52 touchdowns to only 4
Mm.
interceptions. But get
Goodness.
this. He ran for 30 more.
Oh yeah, I don't want him going to Waco.
No, I
I'm
want
good.
him going to
I'm good.
Waco. No,
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 I'm
no, no,
good.
no, 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 no.
Actually, you know
I
what?
want
As long as Blake plays next year, Texas and Oklahoma will be into the SEC by the time this guy steps on the field.
So
So that's
247, right? As he's coming out of high school, you want to guess who his
okay.
quarterback comparison is?
Lamar.
No, no, sadly.
Current quarterback.
When he was in high school,
How many years ago was that? Like 3
he's a
years?
sophomore. He was 2020. He was with
Oh,
me.
Cam Newton.
No, Robert
Really?
Griffin III.
Oh, that guy sucked.
He got hurt.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I
Anyways,
don't really want to play against that. To be honest with you.
but just think, this is a quarterback, right? A quarterback that threw for 52 touchdowns in 2 years with to only 4 interceptions as a junior and senior in 5A competition in Texas. 5A, it's right here. In case you want
I
to
see it.
fact check me. You want to guess what he ran in the 100-meter dash?
10 10-4-2.
No, that'd be nice. It was 10.88.
Golly, that's slow. Brennan Brennan Thompson ran a 10-2-2.
This is a quarterback.
Yeah,
This is a
still.
quarterback. It's a dual threat quarterback. Imagine
Yeah.
Quinn running a 10.8 in the 100, and then a 22.3 in the 200
Quinn probably ran a
as a
12-8.
as a junior, right? As a junior. So we saw that Gary Bohannon can make this RVO offense that we want to go with. Hey, we're on Baylor right now, Christian. Stop it. We saw how Gary Bohannon could play and make this RVO offense that we want to run at Baylor,
Yeah.
which is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. We're going to need a dual threat quarterback, not a pocket passer like Blake Shapen has proven himself to be, sadly. As much as I loved Blake last year, dude cannot run to save his life. And when he does, he's taking hits. Look at West Virginia when he got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we need. And if this guy comes to Waco, instant quarterback battle right then and there, especially with us losing Kyron Jones and Austin Novosad flipping to Oregon.
You think it'll be an instant quarterback battle?
I think it will be an instant quarterback battle.
I don't know. I don't know about instant. I think Blake Shapen will be on a tight rope next season. I think that for sure.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I don't know
definitely.
about instant quarterback battle. Yeah, man. I think Baylor would benefit. Getting that receiver is good. Getting the running back is decent. Getting the quarterback is decent. But I would say if y'all don't go after a linebacker and a defensive lineman, y'all's defense next year is probably going to be pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
Losing Siaka Ika and Dylan Doyle. And Dylan Doyle more than we even think about just because we don't even take into consider his offensive use.
Oh, yeah. I don't even let. Oof.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
I think y'all are gonna really like defensive backs are okay. Okay, they're not amazing, they're not bad, but linebacker and D line, y'all need somebody. And I don't know who that somebody is, but y'all need somebody.
So we are actually bringing in some guys from community colleges so far, from what I've seen, which isn't what I personally want to see. But we're bringing
Right.
in a dude from Hutchinson Community College. I don't have his stats pulled up because I'm looking at the Barrington brothers from BYU at the moment on my phone, and I don't want to lose it. But we are trying to bring in guys. I think that looking at defensive players right now, before we have a defensive coordinator, is gonna be kind of sketchy. Um,
Well,
because they
here's
don't
the
know who
thing
they're
is,
committing to.
if you, I mean, here, at least you're recruiting. Y'all do have a 3-star D lineman. He's 6'3", 245, from Garland, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, DK Kalu from Missouri City, Texas, another 3-star D lineman. Another 3-star from LaGrange, Texas, Jaron Woods. An edge from Missouri City. Man, y'all recruit Missouri City well.
Yeah.
A D lineman from Killeen, a D lineman from Hutchinson, uh, Kansas, I think. And
Wait, you
then
said
y'all have
Missouri
a,
City?
yeah, and y'all
Did I
have a
mention?
linebacker, Corey Kelly, 6'2", 210 pounds, who is currently a hard commit. Hasn't actually done it yet though.
I did mention that's where Malik Hornsby's from, right?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to
So
make sure because I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of 3-star guys, which being friends with you kind of sucks because now I'm like, all right, Texas getting 5-star, 4-star, 5.
yeah,
Anthony
it's
Hill,
okay.
Arch Manning, and it's
It's
just,
okay, buddy.
it's okay.
It's
It's
okay.
okay. It's okay because we still beat Oklahoma 2 years in a row. Anyways, so Clark Barrington is brothers to Campbell Barrington. I'm sure that wasn't confusing in school for these guys. Campbell is 6'6", 295. He is a sophomore from Spokane, Washington. Both of them, or no, juniors. Sorry, they are juniors now. So last year, Clark started all the games for BYU. Um, he started all games in 2021 as well. It's so hard finding stuff for linemen, man. Anyways,
Yeah,
these guys,
there's not
these
really much you
guys
can do.
have what would be 2 seasons full of starts, except for Clark. He was a freshman All American for BYU his freshman year, and then turnaround got hurt last season.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever he came back, there was another guy in his position. He wasn't 100%, but he started every game up until the bowl game for BYU this year. So these guys have the snaps, they have the experience, they have each other. They know that wherever they're at on the field is fine. These guys are very good offensive linemen. I'm not sure why they're leaving BYU, except for maybe because Jaron Hall is entering the draft, because I don't know if that's a good idea for him personally. But
I would say the biggest thing, because we can't find the stats on them, I would say when you get two guys who are 6'6", 295, almost 6'6", almost 300 pounds, there is
mhm,
a point on the line where it's like, okay, yes, there are intangibles that you want. You want good footwork. You want good hand placement. You want good off the ball speed. But if you don't have the best intangibles, it's really good to be a really large human because it is hard for other people to push really large humans around.
for
So
sure, for
I
sure.
think that's what the good thing is. I think that'll benefit Baylor on the offensive side of the ball pretty well, especially if y'all do end up getting this mobile quarterback and he plays. Better offensive line means he doesn't have to move when he doesn't have to move or when he's not designed to move. But if he needs to, he'll be able to. Um, so yeah, man, I think Baylor. I think as far as the portal goes, I think y'all have got 4 transfer guys right now, and I think
Yep.
all 4 of them, maybe not as much Dominic Richardson as immediate benefits,
Mhm.
but I think Dominic Richard or Clark Barrington, Campbell Barrington, and Keetron Jackson are pretty sure immediate difference makers for the
I
Baylor
think so
Bears
for sure.
offense.
I think that we're gonna be able to use Ketron. I think it's Ketron. Like right out of the gates. He wasn't getting as many looks at Arkansas because they
Yeah.
had two. They had a senior receiver this year and a junior. This guy's a sophomore. He just hasn't had the chance to get the stats. I think coming into Baylor with unproven receivers by your side, going in there this summer and this spring and just balling out like Casey Kane did, but hopefully actually turning that into on-field production. I
Yeah.
think he has a very, very good chance of doing that at his very big frame of 6'2", and he's a little bit slimmer. I think he said it was like 205. But either way, that's something we didn't have. We did not have height. We had speed, but that was it. And we did not have reliable, consistent hands until Josh Cameron at the end of the year. And then the tight end position, obviously. Our tight ends were pretty good.
Yeah. Except Ben Sims' change of direction and speed was
And him
like
he dropped a wide
yeah.
open pass, I believe, against Kansas.
Yeah, Ben Sims, he moves about like this bookshelf next to me, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not
And
very
then we
good.
have Drake Dabney, who's hurdling people and then sadly
Yeah,
tears his ACL.
and we have and we had Roshan Johnson who hurdled Baylor on his way into the end zone to score a touchdown. So, with that being said, that pretty much wraps up our Baylor recruiting and transfer portal video.
Yeah, I
If y'all
think
made
so.
it to the end of this video, we really do appreciate y'all rocking with us. Especially, honestly, like if you're a Baylor fan and you're looking for Baylor content, we want to be able to provide that for y'all. We want to build a community around that. Once again, we do want to just point out that we are at 285 subscribers. Our goal is 300 by the end of the year. It's currently the 28th of December. We're going to do a giveaway at 500, and then at 1,000, we want to get some tickets and have one, maybe two of y'all come to a game with us. So that's
Oh
the
yeah.
plan.
I mean,
And
it's free tickets. You get to go with some of the guys that you watch talk about these teams. It can't hurt, right? It
yeah,
can't hurt.
ain't hurt. It's free. It's free.
Exactly. Now
Uh,
we're not paying for food. We're poor. All right. No, I'm
yeah.
playing. We might be able to throw that in. Just
We'll see.
depends.
We'll see what we can do. So we're gonna, yeah. With all that being said, we do appreciate y'all rocking with us. And until next time, hook 'em and sick 'em.
Oh, you see that? I did the hook 'em.
Yeah, it's good. Always do the hook 'em first.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. So.